Okay, thank you for those of you that have just joined on Instagram. We wanted to make sure that everybody on Instagram was getting every single piece of information that is on Zoom is also getting. Now, you just heard a piece played out about what was obtainable with the educational system about 10 years ago. Nothing has changed. That's what is so sad. I want everyone on this call to please, if you're on Facebook Live, can you please go to the comment section and indicate what level of learner you are or you are representing? So if you're a parent and you have children in Key Stage 1, so you put Key Stage 1, KS1. If it's Key Stage 2, you type KS2. If it's Key Stage 3, type KS3. If it's Key Stage 4, put KS4. If you're not sure of the key stage, just write the age. That will be resolved at the end of today's session. So thank you for those of you joining on Clubhouse. Please also go to the chat box and indicate what learner you're there for. If you're undergraduate, just write UG. If you're postgraduate, write PG. The fundamentals of learning are essentially the same. Skills acquisition and knowledge acquisition now follows a very predictable pattern. So it is no longer relevant whether you're on K-12 for the Americans and North Americans now on the program. The fundamentals of the fact that mathematics is essentially a game of numbers and logic. So 6 times 6 will always be 36, whether you're in Japan or in Johannesburg. It doesn't matter what city you're located in. The fundamentals of learning and the truth stays essentially the same. So those of you that are on this call will have been very familiar with what work we've done in the past. At my background now, you can see the biography of Princess Diana. That entire book, 442 pages, including references, illustrations, and photographs. That entire thesis of what she contributed to the African continent was done by artificial intelligence, AI. Way before you heard about ChatGPT. We've been using AI to teach mathematics since 2011. It was then called artificial neural networks. They just gave it a new label, but it's essentially the same. So if you know of anyone that is struggling with mathematical concepts, is because the tools they are using is obsolete. Literally anyone, regardless of your IQ today, is able to understand the fundamentals of high school mathematics in less than 21 days, underlined. So those of you that are familiar with our work will have seen 6-year-old writing exams that 16-year-old find difficult to do. The reason why our students are quote unquote geniuses is because they use the tools that normal people don't use. Normal, standard, the average person is still using the tools that their grandfathers used. Literally, black and white textbooks. If you're on this call and you have a browser, I want you to do me a quick favor. Type in my name as it appears on my Zoom link now, Professor Chris Imafidon, and type in BAN textbook, B-A-N textbook. I've been screaming it for a long time. Do you know why? Please, I want you to type that on Google so that you understand the fundamentals. Part of the basic elementary mistakes we make when we're learning. All of us make the same mistake. Why? Because our teachers were conditioned the same way. It's not that they were taught the same way. Our teachers were conditioned the same way. Our professors were all conditioned the same way. Our lecturers were conditioned the same way. Age, exercises, then abilities. That's They believe there is a linear relationship between your age, that means the date of birth, the task that they can give you or exercise they can give you, and then an expression of your ability. But if you type my name and type the word ban textbooks, you will have seen on your Google where the Times newspaper of London, one of the most reputable news organizations on planet Earth, did an interview, and I spelled it out. Why the textbook, particularly the one you call recommended textbook, is the single biggest hurdle that's reducing the ability of our students today and learners today to understand concepts. And if you're not familiar with our work, you will probably not know about the maths manual. If I have time, I'll show you the link here today. How the mathematics manual, a book written by our 6-year-old, 9-year-old, and 10-year-olds, explains the most difficult concepts in mathematics in such a way that a 5-year-old can understand algebra, a 5-year-old understands trigonometry, and is able to apply it. So you simplify it until your learner understands the concept based on your learner's preferred way of learning. Thank you for sharing, Amos. Thank you. If you have the link, you can put the link in the chat box. Those of you on Twitter Spaces, you can go right now, open your browser or your preferred browser, check on any LLMs that you are using, and you will see where I publicly, after getting exasperated, advocate that they should get rid of black and white recommended textbooks from schools so that students and learners can progress at their own pace, not at the pace of what you call the curriculum. You know, the curriculum was supposed to aid, not detect our abilities to learn. So if you're on this call today and you have seen one person that is 15 or 16-year-old fail, quote unquote, their high school exam, you need to revise your thinking because that person did not fail. It's not that the school and the environment failed to give that person in their preferred way of learning the concept that you are assessing. Let me say this slowly. Each of us on this call have their own preferred way of learning. I don't care who you are. Each of us on this call have our preferred hand for writing. Some of us are right-handed, others are left-handed. If you are given a pen to write and they give you that pen in the right hand and you are left-handed, you will not be able to function optimally. So around 5 or 6 years of age, you expressed a preferred way of learning. There's a photograph I'll probably show later of the gentleman called David Blunkett. I took that photograph long before he became the education minister, a long time ago, long before Labour even came into power. And I'll demonstrate to you, David Blunkett has one preferred way of learning, auditory. If he hears, he understands and remembers things very well. If you're not familiar with Mr. David Blunkett, it's because he's blind. But if you think he's blind, he's not intelligent, you're putting yourself in trouble. Some of us on this call, our preferred way of learning is very, very graphical. That means visual. Others, our preferred way of learning is kinesthetic. If we do something, we'll never forget it. Others is blended. So if when you came to mainstream school, you were put into into pigeonholes based on how best you learn, you will understand all the difficult concepts that your school told you was impossible for you to understand. So that's one of the biggest secrets and strategies that our students that break Guinness World Record in German language, in Italiano, in French, in any of those languages, that was one very simple truth that can be implemented. That's apart from the leveraging of AI. So if you're studying the way your grandfather studied, no wonder you're getting the grades, the type of grades your grandfathers would have gotten. So this book you're looking at now, the book that's behind me is an AI authored biography of Princess Diana. If you go on Amazon, if you have time now, you can go on Amazon and type my name and type Princess Diana and see how the book comes out. I am listed as the author of the book, but the truth is that I did not type one single letter, one single word of the book. Everything was done by AI. I edited, I chapterized. I mean, I put some things from one chapter and then put it in another and move some text around. So I edited the book. I did not generate every word in the book. Why am I saying this? Today, you are now blessed with even more sophisticated tools that can animate photosynthesis, that can generate images to illustrate calculus, that can handle algebra for you. If you're a parent on the EIE program, you will have noticed something called MangaHigh. So every student that's on our program gets a username and a password. And that username and your password allows you to log into a website called MangaHigh. And then you do what they call mathematical games and puzzles. They are not problems. Because if you go to your book in school, at the end of the chapters, they'll say mathematical problems. And after that, they'll say further problems. The mind does not gravitate towards problems the way most left-brained people think. Most of the mathematics textbooks in the market today, over 90% of the ones I've reviewed were written by left-brained individuals. So they are communicating with their fellow left-brained individuals. So if you are right-brained, they've excluded you out of their conversation and discussions. So it doesn't surprise me, therefore, that 60% of the boys and girls that are 16-year-olds this June that will write the exam, according to government statistics, have already failed. Let me say this slowly. You don't need to be a prophet. You don't need to be a good predictor. The government statistics says that 60% of people that will write that exam in June will fail. And I can tell you the reasons for it. I'm not making a prediction. I'm giving the reasons for it. So if you now see the animation of standard deviation, calculating mean, calculating averages, calculating median, that is graphically presented to you, the speed of you understanding that concept quadruples. Just the sheer speed alone. So you now understand why we have six-year-olds passing the exams that 16-year-olds find difficult to pass. It's not based on ability. It's based on the tools they are using, and it's based on the technology they are deploying. So if you are deploying the wrong technology, of course, you'll get hold of items that you are absolutely sure will lead to failure. I'll just share some of the slides. I'm sure some of you are familiar with the Excellence in Education program. If you are not, please, can you type in the chat box if you are not familiar with either the Excellence in Education program or the success, quote unquote, that has resulted out of non-age-based ability. I just want to share something now because I got my slide up. just type it in the slideshow, in your chat box. Thank you for those on IG. You're very active. Those on Instagram, thank you. Facebook Live, you need to come up, because if you're active, I'll give you a prize at the end of today's program. I'm going to give you a prize at the end of today's program. So be active. This is not a passive lecture. I need to know that you are A, you are alive, B, you are involved in this conversation that's taking place today. That will transform the way you learn, transform the way any of the persons working with you or living with you learns. So it's not exclusive to parents and students, but it affects professionals and affects anyone that is still involved in any form of learning. It can be formal or informal, it doesn't matter. So I'm just going to pull off our set of slides, so you see some of the things here. If you have any questions so far about these opening remarks, please feel free to put it in the chat box. If you have any questions, or if you think if anything is bothering you, just let me know. Because if you're going for any exam now, you are going with a clear understanding that your past exam result had nothing to do with your ability, had everything to do with the tools you used, the techniques you deployed, the technology, the thinking, and then your tutelage. Let me say this slowly. If they ever told you were a B student or an A student, they were just entertaining you until they've established how you learn. If they don't know how you learn, they have no right to say what type of student you are. The only person that has the right to say what type of student you are is the person that has established how best you learn. So if they know how best you learn, then they can then say, we have assessed you because we've given you the best opportunities. If you don't know how best you learn yourself, then you have no right to show me any piece of paper that tells me that serves as an illustration of your so-called grade. Because your so-called grade is just an imagination of those that are supposed to have assessed you. Okay, let me just move this around. I'm looking at the comment section. I'm looking at the comment section of those of you on YouTube as well. Thank you for those on YouTube. I'm reading everything that you're putting up there. And we're going to respond to them before the end of this class today. Just pull this up. And then I'm going to give you a different view. And make sure that everybody on this call understands essentially what this is all about. Thank you for those who are putting questions there. Yes, the tools I'm talking about involves, for instance, your use of video materials. Okay, that's what I mean. Involves whether or not your assessment was based on your preferred way of learning. And then whether or not you identify the best way you can learn. If you haven't identified the best way you can learn, you can be sure that whatever you are learning, you are doing it in the most difficult way possible. Because like I said, David Blunkett, if you wanted him to learn anything or get anything straight from you, it's very easy for him. If you put it in clear form that is auditory. So if you put it as a braille, he will also pick it up as well. I'm just giving a very extreme example. If you can see my slide now, I would like you to type yes, because I've switched to slides. If you can see my slides, please type yes on your comment section. If you're on Twitter Spaces, I want you to go to the comment section and type yes. Thank you. If you're in the Zoom session, type yes. If you are on Facebook Live, go to comments and type yes. because I want all of us to be on the same page, and I do not want anyone on this call to miss out on the vital facts. I've changed my slide, and I'm showing you here Denzel Washington. It's useful for you to understand this. I'm not just showing you this to entertain you. I'm trying to tell you that if you're a Hollywood star, it's because you have perfected your ability to learn your scripts, memorize your scripts, and be able to reproduce your script. So most actors and actresses have modified the way they were taught in school. That's the reason why they are able to come out with the lines that they do week in, week out, especially those in long-running soaps. So I want you to type here, if you know, for instance, your reading speed. You have seen my photograph with Joanna Longley, and I'm coming to that later to share with you how the power of accelerated learning and speed reading. Speed reading. If you think you know your child's rate of reading words or speed of reading, I need you to go in the comment section and type it there as well. Please type it, and I need you to type it. How fast or how slow do you read in your preferred languages? It can be Spanish, it can be French, it can be German, it doesn't matter. How fast do you read? If you know it, please put it in the comment section. This is not a lecture, this is an interaction that will transform the way you learn and guarantee you professional success if you're a professional, guarantee you educational success if you're a learner or a student, and guarantees you entrepreneurial success, because the knowledge that you have determines your investment and the performance of your staff. Those of you familiar with our work would have seen the extensive interview we gave to the BBC on why is it that our students need only 21 days to cover the entire curriculum of A level. If you haven't seen that, all you need to do is just Google it, Excellence in Education Program, and see what we've done before. So we are not sharing with you theory. We're discussing what we've seen, taught, applied, and gotten results. And we've gotten results not by accident, but consistently. I need all of you to completely jettison what they say about genius. That genius is only 1% of the population. That's not true. 99% of the population, they are geniuses that have not been developed. Sometimes not even identified. So some geniuses have been suppressed, others have been oppressed, others have been repressed. Very few have been expressed. The expressed geniuses are the ones that we are familiar with. I'll run through part of the slide, but like I said, I just want all of you on this call to get this very clearly, that we have online sessions for individuals that are not physically based in the UK or in mainstream Europe. And we run it for a long period. But along with that was the mathematical secrets I was touching earlier on. I just mentioned briefly aspects of it and then went into Maths Manual. The scholarship report, how do you get top positions in the top schools, universities, and colleges? Then there's what is called the PISA report. It's the international report that outlines the performance of each country on planet Earth. If you haven't seen the PISA report, then you have no right to enroll any of your children in any of the schools that they are attending. The PISA report covers Europe, Middle East, North America, Asia, and outlines the countries that has the best educational system. And that's something I would like to share with you. if we're going to move further and sign up eventually for the Excellence in Education program. And what we do at EIE, at Excellence in Education, is been validated by governments after governments. We were very fortunate that Queen Elizabeth II honored most of our students for quote unquote exceptional achievement. But remember, that's compared to people that are using traditional means, people that are using black. I still believe that some textbooks are great. That's just a picture of a discussion we had here with the princes up in Kensington Palace. We still have tickets. For those of you that have never been to Kensington Palace, we still have tickets. If you're interested, I need you to go right now to the comment section and type KP for Kensington Palace. Please go type KP for Kensington Palace and then visit our website later, the Excellence in Education website, to be able to understand what we're saying. See, every single person on this slide, every single young boy there, young girl there, 7-year-old, 6-year-old, have already passed their high school mathematics. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. The only thing that is common to them, can you see the book they're holding on to? That's what I mentioned earlier on, the mathematics manual, written by a 6-year-old, a 9-year-old, and a 10-year-old. Let me say this slowly. This book was written by children of elementary school age, or what they call primary school age, depending on where you're joining us from. They put together what we did routinely at the Excellence in Education program. Look at it. You can visit our social media handle. I told you earlier on. You can go to our Twitter handle, or what they call X now, our X handle, and see the EIE program there and read some of this and understand that if anyone ever told you are bad at maths, that's the first lie you've been told by anyone. Let me say this slowly. If anybody told you that you are bad at maths, or told your sister, or told your brother, or told your children that they are bad at maths, that person does not understand how well and how best you learn. Because if they did, they will resupply you the materials that you, quote unquote, the topics you found difficult, and then you will enjoy algebra, literally. You'll be able to deal with statistics, or what they call data handling. So every single child of school age, before they get into the school system and get dragged into the curriculum, has the ability to understand difficult undergraduate concept. That's the word, without exception. And we'll give you the names and the ages of all these children. By the way, it's public knowledge. I shouldn't even need to tell you. Francis, check that. Carissa, you can check that. And all of them are holding two things: one mathematics manual and one musical instrument. Is that a string instrument or a wind instrument? And if I have time, I have enough time, I will take some of your questions that may throw up and ask, what is the link between the musical instrument and, yes, you got it, and mathematics? I'll be able to go through that with you. Now, I moved a little bit too fast. Can you grab this screen? If you're on this call, if you're on YouTube, you can see the screen. If you're on Zoom, you can see the screen. If you're on Facebook Live, you can see the screen. If you're on Instagram, you can see the screen. But if you're on Clubhouse, I know yours is audio. If you're on Twitter Spaces, yours is audio. I'm going to send a link to you if you sign up on the next program so that you see this for yourself. The Voice newspaper says an 8-year-old not only gained GCSE, but now at 11 is off to Eton College on a scholarship. Eton is the most difficult boys' school to get into in the whole of the English-speaking world. So how can an 8-year-old pass GCSEs? One. Two, and the same 8-year-old at the age of 11 has already gotten multiple scholarships. Here's the BBC screen dump. Please take that and verify. Because what I shared earlier are not just principles that have not been applied. They are being applied now. They were applied in yesteryears. Look at that. That's from 2017. You can see that for yourself. Or you can take the keywords and find out whether what I'm saying today is just to entertain you, to inspire you, or the blunt truth. Is it really true that you can finish the entire A-level syllabus in 21 days, write the A-level exam, and turn up with an A-star? Is it true? It is true, but not the way our schools do it today, I'm sad to say. Not when you are using the same tools as our grandparents did. Is it possible for you to get multiple admissions into Stanford, Yale, Cambridge, and the toughest courses to get into? Is it possible? My answer is guaranteed, ironclad guaranteed. I'm giving you a case study that most of you are familiar with. You've read, heard, or seen this shared. If you haven't, I have given you the facts here and have given you the references to go and verify. I've given you the BBC link. I've given you the Channel 4 link. I've given you the Times link. I've given you the Forbes link. I've given you the Guardian link. Please screen capture this and even use the keyword. You don't even need to get the link. Use the keyword to show that someone of primary school age wrote A-level computer science and hit a new world record. This is not one sharing testimony. This is one spilling out the fact as it is. So if you are doing a numerator subject and you feel, oh, no, it's hard. No, it's because of the way you're doing it. Sorry to tell you that. If you want to travel between London and New York and go by QE2, the Great Water Wheel, it will take you between 3 to 4 weeks to get to New York. If you go straight to Heathrow and hop on a flying bird called the aeroplane, it takes 6 hours. So you've compressed time by using a new technology and flying compared to going by waters. So it is very clear that the way you do things is more important than your own ability, your so-called innate ability. That was ITV News. This was on BCS. I just want to show you some things. This is on Channel 4. It's still on Channel 4. If you take the keywords of this now and put it on your system, you'll see how she took A levels in mathematics and computer science while still at primary school. Can you see the screen? Look at the bottom of the screen, please. And those, can you read the last sentence? Or last 2 sentences? What I'm sharing with you is there's no mystery. There's no mystery whatsoever. This is a formula that has been replicated across the board in Chinese students, in Filipino students, in African students. It is not the student that matters. It's not the genetic makeup of the student that matters. It's the formula the student is using. I said a few things earlier regarding learning, and I was just going to show you this. If you're on this call, can you please look at this slide and take a guess? What language is the caption up here on the slide? Please type it there. I don't want to give you any hints. The best I can say is an European language. Those of you that are successful at guessing, we will follow you up. My AI will follow you up and invite you to, I'll give you an opportunity to get a royal competition, involved in a royal competition. Look at this very well, because most of you, irrespective of your age, your background, your parenthood, that means whether you're Japanese, Chinese, Asian, African, it doesn't matter, irrespective of that background, can speak and understand at least 7 languages. That's a photograph of Amari you're looking at there. Before she left primary school, she spoke 6 different languages. So now, please write which language this is, because I'm moving on to another slide. Then this is another slide, a different language from the previous one I showed you. So please, can you play this game along with me? Type in, what language is this? Sorry, those of you on Twitter Spaces can't see it. But if you hook up on YouTube right now, go to the Excellence in Education YouTube channel, you'll be able to see all the slides I'm showing you. Those of you those of you listening to us on Clubhouse, you will not be able to see this. That's disadvantage of auditory learning, because I'm not giving you a visual illustration and you can't see it. But if you're on Facebook Live, I know you can see it. If you're on Instagram, I know you can see it. If you're on Zoom, I know you can see it. And if you're on YouTube, I know you can see it. So those of you on those first 4 channels, please go to your comment section and put a guess there. Do not listen to this. Please, I want you to be involved. I want you to participate. I want you to type and guess what language. I'm giving you time because we've got tons of slides to go through. And we must go through this material. Thank you, French, Windows 11 French, Amos French. Thank you for those of you that are involved, because if you're not involved, you're going to miss out in the final competition. And the person that has the highest will win, particularly if you toggle into AI, an opportunity to see, yes, you guess, His Majesty, King Charles III, June, the month of June. So you're not just doing it because you want to learn, you're doing it as well because you want to meet famous people. Okay? This is one person I know you would like to meet. That's Michelle Obama with a former student of Excellence in Education program. Her name, I want all the girls on this call and all the women on this call, this is serious, to type in Omotola Akerele, Omotola, Omotola Akerele. I need you to do that now on Google. And next to it, type Excellence in Education program, so that you know that these images you're seeing, they're not photoshopped. They are real. That's a photo of me when I was a lot younger with Sir Ben Ainsley. And the reason I'm giving you this photo is for you to understand what it takes to be a champion in anything. Sir Ben Ainsley has won the Olympic gold 6 times. 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. That's how he got his knighthood, for contribution to sailing. There's a video of our discussion available on YouTube. So I'm not just telling you a story that may have happened. This was filmed, aired on Sky, and it's now still on YouTube. But here we're discussing what makes a champion, what makes a champ. Because Omotola, like you all know, was told by her career advisor in school not to apply to Ivy League universities because they are too competitive. It's what I keep telling you. Whoever tells you you can't do anything does not have the formula that can make you do that thing. Learning languages. And cutting a long story, Omotola was in the EIE program every Saturday of her life. And from there got multiple offers from top universities, including the hardest university to go to in the world. The reason I'm saying this, nobody in her family, father, mother, uncle, auntie, grandfather, or grandparent, has ever been to any university before. So when they tell you that in your family you don't have quote unquote academic gene, that's another lie. The reason I wanted you to Google this is see the story. The story I'm telling you now was shared in Michelle Obama's autobiography, spiced with images, photographs that she took when she came to Omotola School in London and then visited the Omotola group in Christchurch, Oxford. This is a fact, folks. This is not history. This is not what happened in the bad old days. This is living news. Cutting a long story, she continued with the EIE tradition and topped the class while at Magdalen College, Oxford. And then went on. Today, she is a senior consultant at Accenture, the global 4 consulting companies. It is a life-defining, redefining, and refining experience if you can learn the best way possible. If you can learn, if you can make all the materials given to you to be friendly to the way you learn, friendly to your brain, just like if you are right-handed, you take the pen and write with your right hand, right? Yes, you need to know that, and your children need to know that. And the only place I know that takes this very seriously, I don't know of any, they may well be, is the Excellence in Education program. You might just say, oh, that's Omotola, but this is another case study. You can see Evander Holyfield there. Yeah, that's true. That's not Photoshop. You can see Piers Morgan. Yes, that's true. You can see a world-renowned footballer. That's true. Why? That's Fabrice came to the Excellence in Education program as a teenager. In Walthamstow. And the teachers had told the parents that he's not good at anything. He's not good at maths, not good at English. All he talks is football, football, football. And when we did the initial assessment at the Excellence in Education program, we found out that really there was a disconnect between him and the way the school presents the materials to him. I remember very clearly the first time we did the initial assessment, gave him a piece of paper and said, would you like to do this initial assessment in mathematics? He took one good look at it. He said, but this is for bright people, like the people in the top set in my school. This is not for me. Which is quite interesting because he's been programmed to think that he's not bright. Okay, what do I do? Then we had photocopier. So I took those questions that he said were too difficult because they are the hard paper to the photocopier, but I photoed the cover as a cover of the paper he wants to do, the lower one, the foundation paper there. And so the cover page was foundation, which is something that he likes. They've been told he can do. But the page one was the one I know he can do. But his school has already programmed he can't do it. So he wouldn't do it. And then sandwiched it between the ones he can do. So 50% of the questions were the ones from foundation paper, and then 50% of the questions were from the higher paper. And they stapled it and put it down. They say, yes, okay, this is the type he does. All I did was change the cover. So psychologically, he's been programmed to think that he's not good enough. So he wouldn't even attempt the first one I gave him. But when I then changed the cover, he said, yes, this is the type I do. So, okay, now I said, Fabrice, please, I need you to attempt all the questions, including the ones you think you don't know, including the ones you think is difficult. Just show you're working, just show you're thinking. If you're able to do that for me, I'll be very happy. But before you do this thing, I heard that you are not good at schoolwork. You say, yes, of course, school is boring. I said, okay, that's fine. What do you like best? He said, football. I said, good. Have you ever been man of the bounce? Have you ever been man of the match? Man of the match as a footballer because he plays football? So, oh, yes. I said, how many times? Look at what I'm asking. He didn't know. He thought I was just having a casual discussion with him. I was having an indirect assessment of him for myself, not based on what the school tells him every day or based on what the school have told the parents. So Fabrice told me 17 times. So anytime anybody asks you how many times, that's a mathematical question. Most people don't know that. I said, oh, that's good. That's good. I said, okay, who is your favorite team? He said, Arsenal. I said, okay. I then asked him follow-up mathematical question. Arsenal has a football match on Saturday. What position do you think they will be on Monday? Are you listening to this? This is a very, very mathematical question. You have to work out X, the value of X. And he said, if they win, they are going to be so this position. If they lose, they will be in so position. But they are likely going to, and then he gave back to me. Can you see what I'm telling you? He is doing unknown X. Win means 3 points. Draw means 1 point. Losing means 0 points. He did it without a calculator. He did that without any pen, without any paper. And this is the boy that they brought to me because the parents believe he's stupid because the school told the parents that the boy is stupid. Are you listening to me? Because if you're on this call, you need to get this right. And then you need to be able to apply this because we do this for all our students. Cutting a long story short, I told Fabrice, that's great, but that was mathematics. He said, no, that's football. He didn't know he was applying mathematical concepts to determine the position on the league table, because that table is based on certain parameters. You have rows and you have columns. You have goals, you have goal aggregate, and you have points. He did all of that mentally without a pen on paper, a calculator. That's when I knew that this was a genius suppressed by his environment. So I said, okay, thank you for telling me about the position of Arsenal on the league table. Now, who is your favorite player on planet Earth, since you like football? He said his name is Patrick Vieira. Remember, these were the days of Arsene Wenger. Arsene Wenger was the head coach then, or what you call manager of Arsenal. I said, okay, are you able to do me a favor? Say, what favor? By this time, the parents were getting very agitated because they brought him in so that I can rebuke him and take all the football things from him and then give him academic things to do. Meanwhile, I'm engaging him to use his interest to establish his preference in terms of learning. I said, okay, good. So Patrick Vieira is your best footballer? I said, yes. I said, okay. Here is a plain sheet of paper. Would you like to write for me? Remember, the school told me he cannot write essays. After writing one line, he dries up because they asked him to write about Shakespeare. And the parents came and regurgitated that to me to say, oh, he's very bad at English. We are French. Because they are from the Congo, or what used to be the Congo. So we are French. He's very bad at English. So, okay, that's fine. I said, Fabrice, please, can you write for me an essay about Patrick Vieira and why you think he's the best footballer on the planet? And he sat down and he was writing. And so I had to go. By this time, the parents were really, really mad. So I had to go talk to the parents in the next room because I let Fabrice write all he can on all he can remember about Patrick Vieira. I didn't want him to stop. So I then told the parents, don't worry about that. I might seem to be playing with him on football. I know where I'm going. So I reassured the parents and said, don't worry. If you make yourself a cup of tea, relax, and leave Fabrice with me. We know how we are going to sort out ourselves. When I came back, ladies and gentlemen, when I came back, Fabrice had finished one side of A4 using paragraphs, punctuation marks, capital caps. And he wrote in English about Patrick Vieira. So I read the essay. I couldn't believe it. I said, I thought they said in school, you are not good at essay. He said, no, this is not essay. This is about his favorite player. That's when I knew for sure that this is a talent waiting to be expressed in non-curriculum based ways. And that's where I'm so confident that if you're on this call, you can share this call with anybody you think is bad at school. Because he's not bad at school. He was just told he's bad at school. Or she's bad at school. Or if you think you're bad at learning anything, you are lying to yourself. Because what you didn't know, well, within 9 months, this same Fabrice that is in the bottom set, that means the lowest group in year 9, went and wrote exam, because I told him, do this way, do that. We identified his way of learning. We worked with him. He changed his way of learning, modified what he was learning. And that academic year, at the end of that academic year, Fabrice wrote the GCSE higher paper. Remember, he's only in year 9. And that's where the Guardian picked that. Can you see the Guardian headline? It all adds up to a great success because everybody in his school, that was 2003, ladies and gentlemen, everybody in his school, everybody, underline everybody in the school, every teacher, every friend, every student, absolutely believed that he will fail this exam if he wrote it when he's 16 years old. That was the projection because it's in the bottom set. But how can he then write it now, the harder paper, which is the higher paper, and clean that paper up? The Guardian in London said he was the most mathematical footballer ever to play on the Premiership. I gave that to you because I just wanted to clean up your nostrils for those of you that believe somehow that you're a D student in maths or a bad student in French. I hope you can go and Google Fabrice and be clear of this. This page that I'm now showing you is a screenshot from Omotola. Look at it. Look at what they wrote there. The university now uses her as a model pupil. And they compared her abilities and her successes with that of the father of economics, Adam Smith. Can you see the picture there? If you're on Zoom, on Facebook Live, on YouTube, or on Instagram, I'm giving you time to screen capture this page. Next time anybody tells you you can't, this is the evidence You can show them that Sir Christopher Wren is the ultimate British aristocratic architecture or architect. He's a specialist in architecture. He constructed St. Paul's Cathedral, the dome, without a pillar, without support. Ian Hislop, Indira Gandhi. Look at all the names there. Nobel scientists, 47 of them are being compared with Omotola Akerele. This just knocks everything off what I knew about learning or what they taught us about learning. If you are still using the old system, you will get the old results. I don't care what you're learning. I don't care what skills you're trying to acquire. I don't care whether it's linguistic, mathematical. I don't really bother. It doesn't bother me. And it doesn't matter what planet, what continent of the planet you're on. It still doesn't matter. The truth remains the truth. If we're able to log into this call today, because I'm way out far from where you are, based on the IP addresses of people that logged in here, I can tell you the geographical spread. It is impossible for us to have had this kind of online class, conversation, webinar, call it whatever you like, in 1992, because we didn't have the tools. In 1998, because we didn't have the tools. In 1999, because we didn't have the tool, because we have had to use IRC, the Internet Relay Chart. The fact that our generation has been blessed with this kind of advantage, it is unforgivable for us to play small. It is intolerable for you to find yourself that you achieve the same thing at the same age as your parents or grandparents. It means no progress has been made. So please go and pick up this CNN page. I told you of Omotola, and look at all the other big names you know in broadcasting. This is Getty Images, allowed it to be there. That's Dawkins, the father of the author of the multi-award-winning, multi-best-selling author, hanging out now with Omotola. You can see a little black girl from Hackney whose parents did not go to university. She'll tell you that, period. She brags about it. In fact, she even says it loud and clear. This is Joshua Bright. Look at him. At the age of 17, he's already finished triple, 1, 2, 3 degree from the top universities, Ivy League, yeah, Russell Group, Queen Mary. Look at it now. I want to capture this. And that's the mother there and myself, my humble self there. How can, because he came to us at the age of 14, clean up A levels. At 17, he already finished his degree, period. The university wanted him. Goldman Sachs wanted him. The City of London wanted him. Why? Because he identified his preferred way of learning and therefore accelerated his learning. 17-year-old. The father, the mother, none of them are professors, so don't even begin to think any of these things is genetic. Here is Queen Mary in their newsletter of 2010. Look at that very well. Look at his face and capture this and look at what Queen Mary wrote about him. This is another case study. Her name is Chimemela Agbara. She is up to date, the youngest girl or boy or school student ever to pass the GCSE in mathematics. She's called the highest score. Why? Because one day she came to meet me and said, oh, people are doing maths, but her favorite subject is German. I said, oh, yeah, that's fine. Because I always believe with the right tools, technologies, technique, and tutelage, any person, and I'll tell you what this is my belief in a minute, can take on any challenge, especially academic or intellectual, and not just survive, but thrive. And so she said, no, I would like to do German. I said, fine, great. And we implemented the same formula. She's in Hackney. The Hackney of then, Hackney was classified as the lowest performing borough in the entire English educational system. Did you hear that? She's in year 9. And she wants to go and write the same exam with people that are 16-year-olds. When her German teacher heard about it, she panicked, said, look, please, in this school, only 36% of our students are successful in German. Only after they've spent the required years to cover the curriculum properly. When they are 16, how can you in year 9, you want to go and write this and make them? You are going to fail. Just wait until your time. You can't write it now. And when she came to meet me, I laughed. I said, you know, those of you that follow me on social media, if you don't follow me on social media, you won't understand what the joke I'm cracking now. I go to Ascot every year, Royal Ascot. The only thing that happens at Royal, the main thing that happens at Royal Ascot is horses running. And people take a bet on the horse they don't know that the horse will win. I say, I am ready to take a bet on Chimamanda because I even know her and I know the formula that she will pass the exam. And I was hoping that she will pass and get a C because C is a pass. But the teacher wrote that she will not even get anywhere near a C. The teacher wrote in black and white, not said to her, said worse things to her, but wrote to the exam board, AQA. I still have it. I'll give you all of this. AQA was the exam board. The teacher wrote that Chimamanda will get a U. That means ungradable. That means below C level. Not A, not B, not C, not D, not E, not F, not G, U. So I was just trying to go prove to Chimamanda that she can pass and get a C, and everybody clap for her. No. The teacher discouraged her, told her off. At one time, she almost gave up and she met me. I said, no, don't worry. You've seen 6-year-old write this exam. Don't worry about that. And she wrote the exam. She didn't get a C. She didn't get a B. She didn't get an A. She got an A star in German. Remember, she's not mixed race. Her mother is black. Her grandmother is black. Her great grandmother, 7th generation on maternal black. And her father is black. Her grandfather is black. Her great grandfather is black. Up to the 7th generation, there is no known German blood in her. How can an African student, right? A student of African ancestry, write the exam, the German exam, and score more marks than those that were Germans? How can? If they use the same formula as the school prescribes, now you understand why I said they should ban textbooks. Then you can pass or fail. But if you use a genius formula implemented by AI, it's impossible for you to fail. So listen to the story. It didn't end there. 2 weeks later, they said they reviewed all the GCSE scripts for that year. Remember, she got an A star. That's the highest possible grade. So I'm ready to go have a party for that. She was invited to 10 Downing Street. She was invited to Parliament. She was given an award that year because she scored the highest marks. They checked all the scripts in the country. Her scripts, raw marks, was one of the top 5 marks. Remember, she's still in year 9. So the question I'm asking you, ladies and gentlemen, why do you think the 16-year-olds in her school failed and she did not pass? She passed with the highest marks, highest grade, and they got the highest raw marks. I still have the letter from AQA right now. I still have it. I can show it to you to tell you that your technique and your tools are far more important than your so-called innate ability when it comes to writing exams, when it comes to learning. Look at the photograph of the young man there. His name is Ivan. He works right now. Oh, by the way, Chimemela right now is now one of the vice presidents of Barclays Bank. Haven't spent a stint in Wall Street with UBS. I think she's left. I think she's just moved on now from Barclays Bank. I think she's now in the stock exchange. Because the foundations that you lay determines how far you go in your professional career. That's my very simple summation. Okay, Ivan, at the age of 9, wrote the GCSE mathematics. Look, in year 4, while in primary school, Kempscott. Fabrice was in Kempscott. He was in Roger Ascham Primary School in Waltham Forest. Please go verify this, because it's stranger than true, right? Yeah, I know it's stranger than the truth you are exposed to, but it's more routine for people that use non-routine means, non-traditional means to learn, non-traditional means, therefore, to accelerate learning, non-traditional means to acquire new skills. If you use old ways, you will get old results. But like I told you, all our mathematics now, since 2011, is taught, marked, and fed back using AI. Those of you that are on AIA program, you can testify to this. Because when you register, every single person is given a username and a password. And then you go and play what is called the maths game, Manga High. The only thing is that the more you play the game, the better you are at hard mathematical concepts. So that's what Ivan was able to, at the age, while in year 4 in Roger Ascham, Ivan passed the GCSEs. That's 16-year-olds in Mackenzie across the road. Failed. From there, he couldn't do year 5. As he was working on year 5, the school was giving him more work. The head teacher had to drive him to the nearest high school to get materials for him, because he was now ahead of everybody in the school. It was a primary school. And so he skipped year 6 and went straight to year 7. Let me say this slowly. He did not spend one day in year 6. He was accelerated by a state school in Waltham Forest. At the time, Waltham Forest was the lowest performing borough that the education department was taking over in special measure. Queen Elizabeth II gave him a special Jubilee Award. I can produce the letter, because it's never happened before in that entire borough. So the borough nominated him, and guess what? He got multiple scholarships. He rejected schools. You know, some people just apply to get a place. He rejected school. He ended up in the top boys' school in the country called Queen Elizabeth Boys. You can go and get this. You can Google any of this. Right now is in investment banking. Now, what about Nick? And please take his face, take his name, and write the word SUMMLY. SUMMLY. App developer. Nick came to meet me at an event organized by the then Mayor of London, Boris Johnson, an Evening Standard, and we're having a special award. And Nick came to me and said, oh, Professor Chris, I heard you've done this for these students and you get that. How do you get students to accelerate? I said, oh, no, it's fairly easy. And we had a keen discussion, and we followed up. We've been interacting since then. There's even a video of me and him on YouTube, I think at O2, another conference. Nick applied the same mathematical concept, developed one app. I'm saying it 3 times. That app sold for about $30 million. Let me say this slowly. Your ability to learn and problem solve also translates to your entrepreneurial success. He became the richest undergraduate. Remember, he's a multimillionaire at the age of 17. Most of us, when we were 17, we asked our parents for pocket money. He, at the age of 17, was richer than his parents and grandparents all combined. Why? Because he deployed this new technology. That photograph you're looking at of me and him there, that photograph was taken inside Buckingham Palace. Queen Elizabeth II, Prince His Royal Highness Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, all of us, we were together right inside the palace for an event honoring who? You guess. I need you to take this screenshot now. Take this URL. I gave it to you as a gift. Go and read the story and understand the limitless capability that was deposited in you at birth. If you're listening to me under the sound of my voice, at birth, when you came out of your mother's birth canal, let me tell you what happened. You came out with a brain, one brain. That brain has now been imaged, MRI, and photographed, and the cells analyzed using new tools, and they found that you had 1 million cells. Everyone born, you have 1 million cells. Now, one of those cells, not 1 million, one of those cells was tested. One of the cells was tested against Texas Instrument calculator, and they found out that one cell was able to add, subtract, divide, and multiply faster than a calculator. So they now got 7 calculators combined against one cell. One cell was able to outpace 7, and then they now had a network of 12 computers. One cell defeated it, until they found out that one cell in your brain has more computational power than the entire computing power of NASA. One cell that you have has more computational power than the computing power of NASA that put men on the moon, put Apollo 11 on the moon. Do you understand how powerful one neuron in your brain is? So anyone that tells you your brain is not excellent enough to do all this computation I'm telling you, that person has a distorted view of your true genius. Whoever told you that you can't play an instrument, that person does not understand which instrument you can play. I'm not saying everybody can play every instrument. No, I'm saying when you were born, programmed into the cells of your brain were sound producing abilities that you may have not been interested in and therefore did not develop in the critical stage. And today you say, oh no, I'm bad at singing, or I'm bad at playing this instrument. No, no, no. You were told that by your music teacher, or told that by your school. If I got hold of you at 3, I would have demonstrated to you. Even at 30, I can still demonstrate to you. Because I will show you about 6 different instruments, and then show you another set of 6 different instruments. By the time I show you 36 different instruments, you will understand that you are good. No, you're not good. You are great in at least 2 of them. So this is a multimillionaire based on the fact that he understood that there are no limits to the ability he can go in development. By the way, up to now, we're still looking for app developers. If you can do Python, just back channel me. DM me, slide me a DM if you're on Instagram. Shoot me a message on Messenger if you are on Facebook. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to wherever you are listening to us from in YouTube, and then comment on it, because we're going to come back. We're going to get our AI to come back and check all the comments anyway. Just put hashtag genius formula, because with the genius formula, we can extract from anybody, even dogs that are not humans. Let me tell you this, even dogs that are not humans I say it the third time. Dogs that have no IQ that you say you have. We've been able to walk through with them. That's the reason why you see the police uses the dog to tell the difference between who is a tourist and who is a terrorist. Go to Heathrow or go to any airport near you, you'll see dogs doing it. So how dare you tell me that the human is somehow intellectually inferior to pass their GCSEs at the age of 6, speak multiple languages, or be able to do that most difficult piece of music? No, you're talking to the wrong person, because I look at potential and not current academic performance. That's Jack Dorsey. He was in London and he picked up a copy of the Masked Man. I'm telling you, he has a copy of the Masked Man. And that's the former mayor of New York, Michael Bloomberg. The conversation we had in London, it will just blow your mind off. That's why Bloomberg is now investing in philanthropy, helping educational philanthropy, pulling things in. Because whatever lie they told you was done cleverly. And so you believe. Sorry, they're telling me my time is up. I knew it. Anyway, those of you that are ready to take this conversation to the next level, we're going to go to a Q&A session. We're going to go to Q&A session, and I want to be able to deal with any questions that's in your mind. That's Jack Dorsey, that's Anne-Marie, that's the conversation inspiring entrepreneurs. If you run a business now and you are running into problems, please, you need to hashtag AIBs right now in your chat box on Zoom, chat comment box on IG, Instagram, comment box on Facebook Live, Clubhouse. Please put hashtag AIBs, BIZ or BIZ, depending on what side of the Atlantic you're on. And as I'm talking to you, I'm having multiple translation in German, in French, and in Spanish now, live, thanks to Zoom, because we switched that capability on. So that's Jack Dorsey. This is the formula you've been looking for. You will not get this in any textbook. You will not get it in any curriculum. But all of us need it to understand the interaction between the technique you are using, the AI technology you are applying, the tools you are using, and how that comes up with a genius in you. I'm not asking you a question. I already know how many cells you had when you came out of your mother's womb. So I'm not asking a question. I know there's a genius that's been in you and been suppressed. So thank you. Put your questions in the chat box. Oh, congratulations. No, don't worry about congratulations. We need to get everybody to achieve and exceed all the expectations. Then we can have a big party at Kensington Palace. I told you earlier on, there is opportunity for us to celebrate at Kensington Palace in the summer, and there is opportunity for all the students that type in tonight and enroll with the excellenceineducation.org.uk to see His Majesty. If you don't want to, you can give the ticket to somebody else. But I want you to go to the Excellence in Education website now. For those of you that want to enroll on the Excellence in Education program, where your classmates and your schoolmates have an interaction every single week for at least 1 hour online. Interaction, not lecture. That means you do some task, that task is reviewed, and then some feedback given to you, and then you're given another opportunity to do task. Doesn't matter whether you're Kid Stage 1. We have people that are 4.5 years old, 5 years old, and we have people that are, guess what? You can tell. The other end of the spectrum. Learning does not end in the classroom. That's certification. Learning is a lifelong activity, because the phone you are using on this call, you didn't use that same phone 5 years ago. 8 years ago, you didn't use that phone. You now have a new phone that has new functionalities, and therefore you have to learn how to use it. And if we're going to have this class or this discussion again, if we're going to have this discussion again in another 3 years, I would not say the same thing. You know why? Life would have changed. We'll have had new AI agents. Everything I told you today would have been upgraded. So how can I accelerate my, there's a question on, is that Zoom? How can I accelerate my learning with my learning styles in auditory or learning? That's easy. That's so easy. Depending on what you are studying now and what assessment you are facing, you need to establish your learning style by giving you non-auditory content, auto-generated content. I was in a meeting in the week. Those of you that follow me on LinkedIn will have seen this, where the script of what I'm giving you now was given to an AI that then did what is called text to video. Now you give it text, it comes with me talking as if I have already recorded a video in 16 different languages at the same time. Listen to this slowly. And then I can go and have tea, make coffee, and then come back, and you will still think I'm the person talking. Why? Because I've already given my script to the AI. So you will develop. Remember, those of you that joined us at the beginning, I showed you a book on Princess Diana. That book sold out. That book was on the bestseller list internationally, not just in the UK. That book was on the Wall Street Journal. Yeah, it hit the Wall Street Journal best-selling list. I think I'm correct. I'll check with our Canadian friends that did it. I didn't do anything significant. I had the inspiration. Technology took us to a new level. So if you're auditory, you need to convert your materials to be friendly to how you learn. If you're on the EIE program, we'll have given you tasks at the beginning of the term, and then we'll give you a similar task at the end of the term to confirm. And therefore, before you go for any assessment or exam, we customize your content. Apart from our weekly interaction with you, we give you a username and a password, and you're able to hook up to places that they tell you do not exist. So I need everybody on this call to understand this. If you understand this, then your students will be able to exceed the results we get with our students. I'll show you, I was going to show you a case study. If you're on Google, please, can you type in, this reminds me of a case study, just type in Spanish GCSE A*, and then type in my last name. GCSE Spanish A*, and then type in my last name on your Google, because this is outside my slide. I need to be able to go through this. I need to walk you through this pyramid as well, because what you are saying now about learning, this pyramid is hidden from schools. If you teach it in school, they will ban you as a teacher. Look at what happens in the blue section, and look at what happens at the red section. This is how we can quadruple your learning. If you listen to a lecture, you only gain 5%. If after listening to a lecture, you go and read up the lecture, traditional way, you get 10%. If you add audio visual, look at what happened. Between 5% of the lecture is now quadrupled, 20%. If you do a demonstration, 30%. If you involve in group chat, 50%. Look at what happens when you now interact by teaching others or practice by doing. This is why on Saturday, when you're on the Zoom call with our trainers, you participate. We'll move you to the red zone, because The strength is in the red zone. I'm sorry, I'm rushing through this slide, but like I said, if you're keen on taking this success workshop, please type in #workshop. We are going to have an all-day training. You will not just be hearing about others, we'll hear how you read. We'll give you a text to read, and then we'll time you. We will know your speed, because this is the 33rd slide of 172 slides. This slide we're on is number 33. I want us to go further and faster and move things on real quick, and how you use your cell phone or your so-called mobile phone to enhance your learning. What happened with Fabrice eventually with the Olympics? What happened with the twins, so-called Wonder Twins? I do not have all the time to go through all of this. Okay, the questionnaire you have to do at the beginning of each term and after each term, you have to do all of this. You have to do this, and then you have to answer all of this, because it's one thing for you to know something, is another thing for you to apply. USA Today asked us a lot of questions, and by the way, US Today was sensational about the result of our students. Okay, we call it routine because we know it's not our students. No, sorry, it's the excellenceineducation.org.uk. Thank you for putting on the website. Is excellenceineducation, all one word, .org.uk. So if you're keen on taking this forward, we're going to have a set of slide, a workshop that you need to fill. So we'll ask you these questions because we're keen on establishing the truth. If you are on Facebook Live and you're on Instagram and on YouTube and on Zoom, there's a photograph of a boy and a girl looking at you here and smiling. It says math was just a game for a pair of 8-year-old and 9-year-old. Look at it very well. Laurel did not stay in year 6. From year 5, she moved straight into Woodford County, one of the most difficult secondary school, grammar schools to get into in Essex. No, not in Essex, in the country. Look at that. Look at this. Please, this is from the Evening Standard. This is not a personal view. Go to your Evening Standard page or go on Google, type Evening Standard, maths was just a game for a pair of 8- and 9-year-old. Please, I need you to go and look at these proofs. Independent proofs. Nothing to do with me as an individual. All has to do with the formula being applied by these students. And what books are they holding? Predictably, the mathematics manual. The government is aware of this mathematics manual because it has an ISBN number. The schools are aware of it. But they still give you the recommended black and white textbook that makes you fail. This book has been featured by the BBC, featured in the Evening Standard, featured by Guardian. Literally, I cannot blame the media for not highlighting it. Oh, that's the website. The website is even on the screen, www.excellenceineducation.org.uk. If you are involved in learning and you stick to tried and tested ways, little wonder that you get the result you get. So we're talking about a 7-week webinar program. If you are really, really serious and you want to take things up and push the boundaries that you currently have and get multiple scholarships, please don't forget to type the word workshop. If you type the word workshop and you don't hear from us, go straight to our website, Excellence in Education website. And please, in the name of all good things, do not accept the mediocre prediction they've given you, or they've given your son, or they've given your daughter. Do not reject it. Just reject it and work with people that have been through it before. This is A-level success for twins age 8. Now, this students are not related to the previous student. There are no biological or genetic link. So forget about that rubbish they sold us. It's not biology. It's not genetic. It's a formula. This is a BBC website featuring the mathematics manual when, look at it very carefully, in 2009. So this story has been around. Why is it that the schools know this? Because it's in the public domain, it's in the media, but still refuse because they don't want to update. Look at that. Look at that. BBC put a link to our website. Look at it here. Related links. In 2009, the BBC put a link to our website. This is a screen grab. Go and type it right now on your BBC. A-level success for twins, age 8. So this is the CNN page. The few of the, this is the PISA report I was telling you about. This is the PISA report. How do you boost? Because PISA report tells you the top countries in mathematics, the top countries in logic, and reading. If you haven't heard about the PISA report, it lists all the OECD countries in the world and gives you a performance. So if you are a victim of your country's lack of success, or I'm a victim of my country's lack of success, little wonder that we still believe that the grandfather tools are great for today. The trip to Kensington Palace, let me tell you what it gives our students. It's not just a tour of a real residence. No, it opens the eyes of our students and parents that come along, how the Victorians designed the educational system, why the current educational system is not ours. We inherited it, and they are no longer, and it's no longer fit for purpose. The OECD report proves it every year. Most politicians are not interested in implementing change. They will tell you it's not in their so-called manifesto. So we make this available to you. And like I said, I still have more slides to go through. We will be able to go. Oh, this is the old Excellence in Education page. This is what you see there. Please, you can go there and get your free gift. If you go to the Excellence in Education page now and sign in on our landing page, we'll be able to share more details with you. Who has more questions? Whether you're on Zoom, whether you're on Twitter Spaces, or wherever you are, I beg of you, it doesn't matter how you came to be on this Zoom meeting, YouTube channel, Twitter Spaces. How you got here is totally irrelevant. What you're going to do with it is what I'm interested in. And how you're going to share this useful information you got today and therefore transform the outcome of your son or your daughter or yourself. Because you have not heard these facts, I don't want it to be used in evidence against you. Thank you. Thank you, Maxine. Thank you for retyping that there. Those of you that want to go on the workshop, make sure you type #workshop. If you do not type workshop, you will not be able to join. And like I said, the first 20 people that sign up will get an automatic royal invitation. These are tickets that retail in the unofficial market. I hate calling it black market. Unofficial market, it retails in the unofficial markets for thousands of dollars. You get it for free because we work with the Prince's Trust. We've been working with the Prince's Trust for over 20 plus years. we work and collaborate with various charities. So we have a relationship with them, and therefore we are able to get these tickets. I can send you on the link. I'll see whether I can share this link now for you. I'll get into trouble because I have not asked for permission for this, but for staying on for this long, I want to share a link on the Eventbrite page where you can register now, register your interest, and then you will be able to get literally free tickets. Eventbrite, I'll just type that here, Eventbrite. If you have any more questions on what we shared today, I know it was tough because limited time. That's why I prefer the workshop to this kind of lectures. If you want to take it further, it's best you go straight now. If you register today, I will give you a code that will, let me see this. I'll give you a code. That will knock 50% off the Eventbrite. The Eventbrite standard investment. You type Genius 50. I'm going to share this. I'm going to share this with everybody. Those of you on YouTube will see it. If you don't get it within the next 24 hours, please come back to us and we'll reshare the link with you. All right? I'm pulling it up now. I'll pull it up. It's ridiculous. I mean, the investment is ridiculous. It's an Eventbrite link that talks where it will break down most of the things I rushed through. Okay, here is the one that helps you with your speed reading and boost your NA. Type in Genius. Yeah, okay, this is speed reading and boosting your earnings. Is less than a meal, cost of a meal. I'll share the link. Please make sure you fill it out now. Fill it out immediately. If you can fill it out immediately, that'll be fine. If not, I can take you to the page. For waiting until this time, I'm going to give you this. Control V. Control V. Okay, let me share it. Let me share the page. Thank you for typing workshop. Thank you for typing workshop. Okay, here's the page. Here's the Eventbrite page. So how to boost your reading speed. The reason I put Joanna Lumley there and all the other actors and actresses, all of them without exception, have had to go and do some form of speed reading or speed training. Because your average speed is 200 words a minute. That's your average speed. I can read up to 2,500 words a minute. Let me say this slowly. You do 200 words a minute, and you are competing with somebody that does 2,000 words a minute. I do 2,500 words a minute. So I'm able to read 14 newspapers before breakfast and be able to tell you exactly what I read. I'm not skimming. It comes with practice. Every single skill you've had to practice it. So if you're on this call, number one, you don't know your reading speed, that's a problem. This course, this program will demonstrate to you your current reading speed. Number two, this program will show you how you can quadruple your current reading speed. And then ensure that when AI starts turning out content for you, you are on top of it. Because some of you have so many unread emails now, it's disgraceful. Why? Because you don't have the time to read it. Why? Because you are reading at snail speed. So please, if you're on this call, just click on get tickets on this. Or you can go on Google and type in how to 3x your reading speed and boost your earning and put our name there. Put our name. Put Excellence in Education Program, or I'm trying to get the link. Okay, here's the link. Everybody on Zoom, you have the link. Those of you on YouTube, the link is not clickable, but if you type workshop, I'm going to put that there. Understand that your reading is not a school activity, it's a lifelong skill. The fact that you read one word at a time, I'm worried. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Warren Buffett, I'll tell you what their reading speed is. So what you know is a function of what wealth you can acquire. So it's not just academic. What I'm trying to say, for your students, they need their reading speed bumped up. For your children, they need their reading speed bumped up. For you, you need your reading speed bumped up. This program, by the way, let me be clear about this. This program, this reading speed program that's hosted here, has some good here, is subsidized and was for students in the inner city. Can you read it here? Because if you go for any corporate speed reading program, is £2,000 plus. Any commercial reading speed program is over 2,000. Ours was designed specifically as a charitable event. So that's the reason why we're able to do it for less than $40. So if you're able to book into this, please book into it, because it will help you and will transform your life, your reading, your professional progress, your son's educational progress. It will redefine everything. I hope I have said enough about that. I hope I've said enough. So click on this link. If you have any difficulties, please email us through the Excellence in Education program. If you have your Key Stage 1, Key Stage 2, or Key Stage 3 students or children that haven't already passed GCSE in primary schools, while they were in primary school, there's something wrong. Period. Something very wrong. If you're a year 10 student and you haven't knocked 1, 2, or 3 GCSE in your pocket, there's something radically wrong, because you are using the wrong method. I will encourage you to please upgrade and use the new tools. Yeah, the promo code was Genius 50. I think that gave you 50%. You type Genius, G for gold, E for echo, N for November, I for India, U for uniform, S for sugar, and then the number 5 and then 0. Try that promo code. If you still have problems with that, email us or slide us a DM. Thank you for asking that. That's a great question. Yeah, I think there's a promo code of 50. I think there's a promo code of 5 Genius 50. And it expires midnight. So if you're still thinking about it, when you come back you have to pay the full whack. Not that it's a big deal anyway. Yeah, Genius 50. If you want to go on this specific booster of a program that will change your entire speed. I hear people saying they have a 3-year program to read the entire Bible. I fall apart laughing. 3 years? 3 years? What you can do in 1 month or less? Or they say, oh, I've had this book on my shelf. I've not had time to read it. Really? You bought a book with your money and it's been sitting on the shelf. That's shelf development, not self-development. If you have a book that's been sitting on the shelf, you bought it with your money. There's something wrong with your reading. And nothing wrong. What if the information in that book will change your life? So please, I'm sorry, they say my time is gone. My time is gone. Okay, so I will see you. For those of you that want to take the conversation more or forward, the adults and those that are not enrolled on the EIE program, please make sure that you go try the promo code, enroll for this. It won't cost me, it won't make me any richer or poorer because those of you familiar with my work know that my speaking fee goes to charity. So it's not economic for me. And you can see the book here, even the book on Princess Diana is all for charity because I have better ways of making money if I want to make money.
Hi, Professor Chris. I think the promo code is not active. It's not working.
Okay, so those of you that have tried the promo code, if it's not working, can you send me a screenshot of it on any of the social media platform, and I will discuss with the person working on that, and I will come back to you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Okay, so make sure you get the promo code. Make sure you try it. If you try it and it's not working, make sure you send the screenshot to the Excellence in Education website, or even their. Let me see if I can pull up the Facebook page. So those of you on Facebook, just go straight to the messenger and send. Good. This is it here. Let me share this with you. Let me share this page with you. Sorry for those of you that are on Twitter Spaces. I know you're just imagining most of this. Okay, here's the page. Here's the Excellence in Education page. If you're able to come in here, just click on Excellence in Education, or it's called Excellence Education-London. Come to the messenger, do a screenshot and say you were at my session this evening, this Saturday, and then you would like to have the promo code for, and then you put the link there, and then the fact that it didn't work. Okay, so make sure you send it today. Just come here and send that to us. If you hate Facebook and you don't use Facebook, then use grandfather technology, good old email, which is info@excellenceineducation.org.uk. Info, INFO, at the @ excellence in education, all one word, .org.uk. If you're really, really old-fashioned and you want to prove it, you can send email. If not, just send something on social media and you get instant response. So this is the website. You've got a few. Yeah, that was the old class we had. How many years ago was that? 6 years ago, during Easter or post-Easter revision. If you have any exam coming up in May, please do yourself a favor and make sure that you sign in for the workshop. If you have any exam coming up in May, if you have any team members that are working for you, if you're a team leader in your place of work, and you found out that some members of staff are not pulling their weight, please don't blame them. It's probably because they have a very defective foundation when it comes to reading. You can boost their productivity by arranging a workshop subject to time constraints. We can very easily do something for you. So we're doing a lot of with parliamentary leaders now on how to read those bills and read them very fast and understand everything. We've done that for the household as well. So you have to make sure you train every member of your team, if you're working with a team, on how best they can learn, because every professional carries out a third of the activity linked to learning or reading. You read emails, you read minutes. So don't say that reading ended in school. It didn't. This was a public lecture we had for BABE. I think that was last year. This is the Parliamentary Labour Party that we had some training for on speed reading when Jeremy Corbyn was in charge. A few things that is not really out in public domain. I'm just sharing a few things here. But suffice for me to say that thank you for listening. Sorry I've exceeded my time. I'm glad to have the pleasure of your company, and I will talk to you or share with you later. The videos that were shared earlier before I came up, if you want it, please just slide us a DM. We'll send you the video. The video where we're talking about different schools and what makes one school better than the other. Please, you can have that for free. You don't need to pay anything for that. Just say you were in today's meeting, you came in late, therefore you didn't have, you can't find your Facebook account. Okay, I'll send you a link. Let me grab the Facebook page. I'll send you a link to our Facebook. So the videos we shared earlier are the introductory part of today's meeting. If you want it, just say that you couldn't come early enough. Okay, here is a thing. Okay, that's our email account. It has a photograph of the Queen Elizabeth II, and I had a few posts there, and our website is there. So if you want those emails, those slides, send us an email now and say that you were not here at the beginning because of one thing or the other, and you attended the whole session, and you want a link to those videos that were played, because some of you are asking questions about it on Instagram. On Instagram. And thank you for those of you that are asking questions on Facebook Live as well. If you have any other questions, you know our email address, you know our Facebook page, you know our Instagram, you know the YouTube. Please contact us, because we're here to help one another. I don't know it all. You don't know it all. We're here to help one another. If the minute I think I know everything, then I'm dead. It's only a dead man that cannot learn. A link to this Zoom meeting recording? Yes, because it was streamed. Thank you. If you need a link to this Zoom meeting recording, can you send us an email at info@excellenceineducation.org.uk, or wherever you got the invitation to this Zoom meeting. If you're on Zoom, you're a privileged few. You are the so-called quote-unquote elite. I believe everybody's a genius. But if you have a Zoom link, go to where you got the Zoom link from, and ask a question. Today's entire session, is it entire session? Yeah. I think majority of what was said was streamed and saved on YouTube. So if you want a recording of everything, it was streamed on YouTube. So I would send you the YouTube link. And we can do better than that. We can do the workshop, which will contain everything that was done today and more. because then we're going to have more time. Today, I'm rushed because tomorrow is the marathon. Everybody in London is running. And tomorrow is a marathon, and today was the Pope's funeral. So everyone's
Will you will you be running, sir?
Everybody's running. We're all together. Everybody's running the marathon for one charity or the other. But I have a. Should I share that here? I probably can share that. I have a link with the Prince's Trust. No, sorry, it's now called the King's Trust.
King's Trust now, yes.
I have a link with the King's Trust that I can share with you. And if you are so kind, you can put some money there for the king. And not for the king, really, it's for the youth, for the youth.
Yeah.
Prince, this is, let me share you. I think it's a good thing for you ask that question. I'll share a link of what we are doing with the Prince's Trust. If you make a donation, you get invited for a special breakfast. I think that's, I don't know, I think that's either during the anniversary or yeah, okay, this is it. Put a little donation there for the kings, for the youths. If you've ever used the King's Trust or the Prince's Trust, you understand what I'm saying. Here is a link. Click on it and give them this should be for everyone. Okay, click on that link. It gives you access to the King's Trust and opportunity for you to sponsor or donate $10 or $5, $10, $12. If you donate more than $100, you get a special invitation for the King's competition to go to the Royal Ascot. So that's one of the charities I support because they support inner city youth. So share that link with as many people as you know or want to help young, vulnerable youth. If they donate, they get all sorts of privileges. So here it goes. So you can have $10. You have $10. No, £10. You have £10. You have £20. I'll share this now. Okay, yes, here we go. We're all at Buckingham Palace tomorrow afternoon to welcome home the winners. Okay, yeah, you got it now. So just come to the bottom here. You have £10, £25, £45. If you change the amount to £100, you get a special ticket or a special invite. All for fun and all for the good of the youths. For young people that are, especially girls, they have challenges, all sorts of challenges. There's a good thing. Make an executive level donation. Okay, here it goes. If you give £10, it's ordinary. If you give £20, it's ordinary. If you get 45, is exec level. If you change to £100, you get a special invitation. Especially if you're in the UK and you're a taxpayer. If you're a taxpayer, you can claim it back. If you're a business owner, you can claim everything you donate to the King's Trust back. So enough for today. Enjoy and see you tomorrow for those running the marathon. If you're not running, I hope you cheer up all the people running and you come to welcome everyone home at the end of the race. So we're going to count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 0, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.